Alright, you masters, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, and that is the function of screaming in survival scenarios. And yeah, there are some things that could be useful and some things that are not useful. We're going to talk about this, but before we start, if you're interested in survival courses in Belgium, there will be a link to my website for survival courses in Belgium, and also to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch, so detective story. So I would say take a look if you're interested. So screaming. What is the point of screaming? Well, in my opinion, there are four types of scenarios where screaming is not only a human thing but also for animals, and we're going to go so step by step by this. I would say first one is intimidation. Intimidation is has several points actually. If you're going to scream for a fight or against an aggressor, and I would say the first one is there could be a scream as a sort of warning to say, I'm very seriously. If you're going to attack me, it's not going to be good. So raising your voice and perhaps screaming could be a sort of warning to the aggressor. The second one I would say is, and it is something that you see sometimes, and that is bluff. Bluff is when people try to intimidate the other without the intention to actually going to fight. It's more of a, like I said, a bluff. We all know these people who are, you know what they say, the one with the biggest mouth, the loudest mouth is actually the most scared one. Well, actually, that is the thing actually, and sometimes it's a very valuable strategy to try, and sometimes they will call your bluff, and it's not that good. So yeah, bluffing is one of those. And the last thing I would say is this one is during the actual fight. Screaming during the actual fight to show that you're louder, perhaps more masculine, could be lowering the morale of the opponent or the aggressor. So yeah, so for some persons it could be lowering the morale because of the loud noises, or by by hearing the confidence by the other person that is fighting you. So yeah, screaming in the intimidation is are some strategies. The second thing I would say is screaming is a call for help. We all know if you scare somebody, like you go around the corner, whoo, and they scream like, huh? Well, that's something that is biologically inside of every animal, I would say. And yeah, in some animals it's more notable, but uh, it's something from mostly from social animals to let others know there is danger, or that they are in danger and others comes to help them. So yeah, the if you're getting robbed, for example, or somebody's trying to say you, like they say that you have to say now on YouTube, you can scream and hope that other people's around will come to help you. Or yeah, to give the impression, at least the impression to the aggressor, that somebody might have heard it and they will take back their attack and run off because they don't want to risk that somebody else will hear it and they will help them. So that's another thing. um the third thing I would say is stress relief. What do I mean by that? We all seen those movies where when the main character is getting some bad news, they fall down on their knees and they scream in the air with both hands. Ah! Well, there is something to it because a human has three stress reactions to stress or danger: the fight, flight, or freeze. And this stress relief is a sort of freeze reaction because you cannot run away with legs, but you cannot also not fight. What are you left with? Freeze. And as a sort of coping mechanism, you can just try to scream the stress out of your body. I don't say you always have to do this, but it's something that can happen when you're having a breakdown, when you're really sad or really angry, but you still have enough control to not do something in a panic, like running away or fighting the wrong persons. So the freeze reaction could lead you to scream that pent up aggression or sadness out. And yeah, the fourth one, for example, an example is we all have had those neighbors that have dogs and they are away for a very long time. The dogs are alone. They have nothing to do because they are alone because they are the only dog in there. There's nobody else there. These are social pack animals. So as a sort of stress relief and a little bit call for help, they start to ooh all day long. So that's a sort of example for this stress relief that is comes into the animal kingdom. I would say the fourth one is pumping yourself up. What is this? It's something that you can do to, before a difficult task, like, that feeling. It's to either build your adrenaline up so that you will be able to perform the difficult or the hard or the physical task, or psych yourself up, like, it's like a mantra or one of those Viking chants. So, and that's sort of screaming can mentally psyching you up, like before a fight or before a difficult task, or you have to do something very dangerous that could be a problem. And it's also something to do with exhaling monoxide from your body. There is this breathing exercise from Navy SEALs, I think, and it's something that you take 2 breaths in and 1 hard breath out, and that with screaming is the same thing, that it can exhume some of the monoxide, and you can take more pure oxygen in. An example for this is if you I practice iaido, which is like a sword fighting technique, uh, a Japanese sword fighting technique, and one of the things that they do is kia. If I pronounce this correctly in English, it's something that you, before the attack, that you with like those karate guys, that they, before they chop something in two with their hands, they give a ki, like chaka, and the wooden board is in two or bricks or whatever. This could be helpful in certain ways. All right. And what can, from these 4 points, what do we have learned? It's learned we can use this screaming for survival purposes, but there are several things that you need to take in account with. For example, for intimidation, I would say learn to how do you say this? Learn to scream intimidating. We all have those moments that we try to scream and some different noise came out that sounded a little bit more funny than intimidating. So I would say practice a little bit on your intimidation scream. Stupid example is try to act like you're a caveman and you're trying to scare away uh, an ancient prehistoric lion that is 3 times as big as these days. So you can try something like Ulan! Try something like this that could intimidate at least animals or persons. And also for the scream, for a scream, for the call for help, is something that you can try to learn, because if you're floating on the ocean after a shipwreck, or you're stuck somewhere and you think there is a rescue party around, you can scream all you want, but you can only scream a certain amount, because we all have those moments that we are, how do you say this in American? You're a little bit hoarse from screaming too much, or something like that. And are ways to overcome this, because a lot of people scream with their throat, and after sometimes even a few screams, their throats are hurting. So there are certain things you can learn, like for example, if you were learn from a metal singer how to sing like a metal singer, so to say. So what not many people know is metal singers, they scream from within, from actually from their stomach, and they push the air through their throat instead of manipulating with the throat. A way to do this is the way that me has been taught about this is it's an example that you let yourself drop inside of a couch, like, and that feeling you have to recreate and practice by pushing it out. So try again. Put yourself before a couch and let it sigh out while you drop yourself in the couch. And that feeling you have to keep. And the thing is, if you manipulate a little bit, you can scream for longer, louder, and with more intent without destroying the throat. So if you're in a situation where you need to call for help for a long period of time, this could be a thing. And that way, you can also scream in different ways that people even try to go look from what the hell is that? Like and that way you can scream for actually a much longer time instead of small intercepts. But yeah, it can also, if you especially if you're in mountainous areas, it can go a very long time. It's actually the same thing as learning how to yodel. I cannot yodel. A female friend of mine can yodel, but it's the same thing that you learn to sing without destroying your throat, because yodeling is sort of form of communications in difficult terrain over long distance. Um, all right. Perhaps I think I'm at my last point. I probably forgot. Oh, and if you have any other things I've forgotten to say about this, let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new perspectives or things that I never thought about and new ideas. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers.